Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of What's Next on Basketball Podcast. We are here today with episode 10 of the podcast. 10 episodes in. We finally reached number 10. That's pretty cool. Apologies, guys, for, not recording for the last, week. I think it's been 2 weeks now. We're just at that point in the NBA, as I mentioned before in the last episode, which is kind of like the dead zone of the NBA, where nothing really crazy is happening. So there's, not really anything interesting to talk about, which is, I was just like, why record an episode if there's nothing interesting to talk about? So I haven't really, been making any episodes, but I have been working on things behind the scenes. One of them I'll talk about in a minute. And yeah, so it's not like I just completely didn't do anything for this, this whole podcast thing. I have been doing things on the side that you guys will see pretty soon. Some of them you can already go check out, which, like I said, I'm about to mention in a second. But before we get into that, let's just do a quick recap of exactly, and if there's been any news that I haven't mentioned, since, the last time we talked. It looks like there was... let's see here. Yeah, there was 3 things I didn't tell you guys since, I just didn't make an episode. The first one just being Jaylen Brown's contract. As you guys know, Jaylen Brown got over $300 million for his contract. I'll just go pretty quickly with this because I know you guys have probably heard it from every other YouTuber, and at this point everyone's just been like, alright, whatever, it is what it is. So, I'll just say that I think they overpaid him. Obviously, Jaylen Brown himself, if they offer you that money, you should get it. You should always, if you're an NBA player, you should always take whatever contract they give you, even if you really don't deserve it. It's like, come on, I'm not going to just sit there and there's all this money in front of me and just say, no, I don't want it. Like I talked about before with you guys, so you already know. Good for Jaylen Brown. I just really question the Celtics and exactly what their idea was with this. Because he's not worth that much money. Let's just be honest. He's not. with the problem with him and his dribbling. I don't know why, but I guess it was either we pay him the money he wants or he walks out on us and we get nothing in return. So I think it was just one of those hard decisions that an organization or owner has to make because, it was going to be a lose-lose situation. You were either going to sign him for way over more than you needed to, or you were going to lose him for nothing. So at least you have the player, is what I would say there. Next, the other thing I wanted to talk about was the Michael Jordan and Charlotte Hornets. I already talked about it before in my previous episodes, but again, they officially announced, I guess officially this time, that Michael Jordan is no longer the owner of the Hornets. So, yeah, his, 13 years with the Hornets, his reign has finally come to an end, and now we get to see a whole new ownership and, how that's going to go. Obviously, that will start in the beginning of the season, so we'll see how they do. I don't think they'll make any huge changes, obviously, since they just got there. But, you never know. So I'm excited to see what they do. Hopefully they can, bring this team somewhere at least. If they can at least bring them to the play-in this year, I would see that as a success. So, we'll just have to see what happens with them. The last thing I wanted to just talk about is the situation. I think this was a week ago. I could be wrong, but I think it was a week ago. It was about, unfortunately, the situation with Bronny James. So for those that, for some reason, still didn't hear about it, Bronny James had a cardiac arrest during, I believe it was during he was in the college gym that he goes to, and he just had a cardiac arrest there, and it was obviously very, very scary. He went to the hospital. I think he was there for 2 or 3 days. He came out of the hospital. The family said he's doing fine. They didn't really say much as far as I know of my knowledge. I didn't hear any updates as to what caused it, but I'm just glad to hear that he is okay. Hopefully they can figure out exactly what caused that to even happen, because he is very, very young. I think he's only 19, 20. So I hope they can figure out exactly why that happened, because with not even just basketball, but in sports in general, I think a perfect situation is the one that happened in NFL. I'm not very big on NFL, but I did hear about the situation with the one football player. I don't know his name, so I apologize for that. But he had, a cardiac arrest there in one of the games, and it was like really, really bad. I think he was in a coma for like a month or something like that. It was maybe not even a month. I know it was a while. He was like in the hospital. It was very scary. Thankfully, he came out. Oh, just hit my leg. But thankfully, he came out fine. And I think he's still playing, or, I just know he's alive and he's okay. And he even like did a text message for Bronny, wishing the family well. Obviously, I wish the family well as well. So as far as I know, everyone's fine. Everything's doing good there. So that's great to hear. I just hope they can figure that out, because we have seen basketball players where they had this situation, and they just unfortunately it just didn't end up good for them. So, yeah, I just hope they can figure it out. It would be such a shame if he can't play basketball anymore, because he's just, he's the son of LeBron James, and he's looking like he's going to be maybe not as good as his dad, but he looks like he's going to be a really, really good player. I just hope, everything's fine with him. So, anyway, we'll move on from that. We don't need to get more into it than people have already talked about. I'm just glad to hear that they're all okay. Now let's get into the actual, more important topics at hand. Today's episode might be a pretty short one. I don't have that much to talk about since, again, there just hasn't been that much crazy stuff going on. But I do have a couple things here. Now, we'll start off with the announcement that I just mentioned, a couple minutes ago, at the start of the episode. After weeks of preparing it, weeks of editing, weeks of making sure everything's good, everything's great, I have officially made the What's Next on podcast. I said What's Next on podcast. Come on, Jeremy. You can't even make an announcement, right? I meant to say What's Next on Basketball podcast YouTube channel. That's right. I finally have it on YouTube now. So for those of you that are more comfortable with maybe watching it on YouTube, I do have it on there. I already told you guys a little about it before and how I've just been making it, and how, we just have to wait until I can finally post them. And I did. Though episode 9 is not posted yet, as of me talking, maybe after I finish recording this, and by the time you guys are listening, it should probably be posted. But yeah, I made the channel and everything. I don't know if the link is on Spotify. If not, you guys can go check out my Instagram. My Instagram is definitely in the link of my Spotify description. Then, you can go there. Then you can go to the YouTube channel. You can subscribe. And, help me out with the YouTube channel. I'm really hoping that the YouTube channel can do really, really good. Just as good as the Spotify channel. And do they call them that? Spotify channel? Whatever. Just the Spotify podcast as a whole. I'm hoping I can get more fans from there. And, just keep growing and making this thing awesome. Like I told you guys before, episodes 1 through 8 will not have crazy editing, just because, it was in total, it was 9 episodes I had to do. So I wasn't going to do every single one, because that was just a lot. Episode 9 alone took days to finish, just because of how much editing and things I had to do, make sure everything was timed right, make sure everything sounded good. And then I just had a problem 2 days ago with my videos, because I had a really cool intro that I was going to show you guys. It wasn't super off the charts TV kinds of intros, but that was my first intro that I made. Unfortunately, I had to cut it because it got copyrighted. I thought it was going to get copyrighted, but I was wrong. So yeah, it's just going to be how it would start for the podcast. And as I said, the first 8 episodes, you'll just see a picture, which is going to be the thumbnail for the video. And yeah, there's that. So if you want to listen to it on YouTube, you can. If you want to support that, episode 9, again, will be the one that's actually edited and has more, love and work put into it. And hopefully we can, continue on with that. And episode 10 here, we'll hopefully get some, some nice clips and edits as well. And I've just been having a lot of fun with the editing. It, obviously, I have much respect to the people, not just sports YouTubers, but just YouTubers in general, that do editing on their own time. They don't hire anybody, they just do it themselves, because it is a lot of work. and I don't have money to pay someone to do it, so I had to do it myself. And it's just a lot of fun, being able to put things that you think is funny, or just, I guess you could say expressing myself on the videos. I don't even know if I would say that, but it's just putting my own humor into things, and you guys will see it there. Hopefully you find it funny, or if you feel like there's something I could have changed where you're like, oh, maybe you should try to do this, or maybe you should try to do that. You guys can always give me ideas or suggestions. I'm always open to them. You can, I'm sure you can message me on Spotify. I know you can message me on Instagram, and now you can message me on YouTube if you want to leave a comment being like, hey, this video was good. It's just, I think you should try to change this in the future videos. And, I'll be like, okay, cool. Yeah, no problem. I'll definitely change that. Overall, yeah, that's just the announcement. The YouTube is made. We're growing, more and more for people to watch now. And yeah, hopefully we can make the YouTube channel just as successful as the Spotify. Obviously, I want to thank you guys. I say in every episode, so I'll say it again. I want to thank you guys for, listening to this podcast. We have gotten a really good amount of viewers on it. Obviously, it's not as much in the grand scheme of things, but to me, it's a lot. I think we're at almost 40 all-time plays for the podcast. We got, I think, 8 followers, almost 10, which is pretty cool. And, obviously I've gone America. I still have the UK one. I don't know what happened to the UK guy or woman. I don't know what happened to them, but I hope they're still out there trying to listen to some basketball. I don't know why they were listening to basketball in the UK, but hey, I'm not, I guess no complaints here, that can help me, expand more. And yeah, it's just been great doing this. So let's just move on now. I'm over here just rambling on as I always do with these episodes. I got 4 more things to talk about here. The next one being the leaks to, games that have been announced for this season. I want to say 2 days ago. It might have been yesterday. No, it was 2 days ago. 2 days ago, there were reports of games that had gotten leaked when it came to Christmas games and it came to opening night games. We'll start off with the opening night, which we had found out 2 games that will be happening in opening night. The first one that was announced was the Suns versus the Warriors, and that's going to be a fun series. Obviously, we know with not rivalry, but heated, exchange with the Suns and Warriors. I think that'll be a fun opening night to see there. And then the other one was the Lakers and Nuggets. Another fun one. Obviously, they were probably going to put them on opening night since the Nuggets are going to do their ring ceremony. And I just find it messed up, though, that they're going to do it against the Lakers, who they beat. Not just beat, swept in the conference finals. And now they have to watch them get these rings. It's definitely going to hurt LeBron right there. I'm sure he's going to be really upset just looking at that, being like, man, that could have been my ring. So, yeah. I mean, obviously we know the Lakers look very different this year, so maybe they can make a big impact on, on things. But there's that. So that's very interesting to see there. I really hope they obviously announce more games. I'm sure there's going to be way more games on opening night. I wouldn't be surprised if all teams play on opening night. I really want to see the Knicks face because obviously, I'm excited for them. It's just fun, man. I just can't wait. Obviously, it doesn't start until October, or what it says here, it says October 24th. So we're not going to see it till the end of October. We still have 2 months. And man, it's so frustrating just waiting for basketball. I've never realized, this is like, as I said, this is my 3rd or 4th year watching basketball regularly. And it just sucks waiting for the new season. Obviously, I've been trying to distract myself by watching baseball. And man, that has not helped. Watching, if any of you guys are into baseball, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because I'm a Yankees fan. And it has just been very frustrating just watching them play. Like, I could go on and on about them and just how frustrated I am with the team in general. But I'll just say this, it's not fun, man. It's really not fun. It's just making me want to watch basketball more, which maybe might be a blessing in disguise, because then this is really going to make me enjoy basketball a lot more. And this time, it's not like, oh, I'm only going to wait for my team, to watch games. I'm going to try to watch every team so then I can report it to you guys and tell you what happened in this game, tell you what happened in that game, tell you who's doing good, tell you who's doing bad. Like, this is my first year where I generally can watch all the teams and then I can, like, talk about it with somebody, just like you guys out here. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to report the games. I'm sure it's going to be a lot. I did it before when I had my previous podcast that I mentioned before, but it was a lot at the time since I was still like in high school, and I also had to put my high school work before this since I wasn't making money off of this, and I needed to make sure I graduated, so couldn't really put any time and effort. But now I'm done with high school. I would like to make this something that I get money off of. If not, that's fine with me too. I just like talking to you guys about basketball, so either way it's a win-win for me. But now I can actually put some time into it. Now the other thing that got announced was the Christmas games. Let's see, here we go. There was 5 games that were announced for the Christmas Day 2023-2024 season. The first one we have here is the Warriors and Nuggets. Then we have the Mavericks and Suns. Ooh, that should be fun. Then we got the Celtics and Lakers, classic. The Sixers and Heat. That's an interesting one. Why do we have the Sixers and the Heat? That just seems kind of random. Oh, wait, didn't they face... No, because this previous playoffs, the Sixers and Celtics went at it. And I believe... Oh, wait, no, didn't they? No, okay, so hold on, I gotta think here. It was... Oh my god, I can't remember. Oh, no, I'm lying. I am lying to you all. If I remember correctly, it was the Celtics and Sixers, which is because the Sixers ended up losing the next 2 games, which let the Celtics go on to face the Heat. Yeah, that's what happened. So, okay, again, this is kind of random. I don't know why they would have done this. The Celtics and Heat would have made sense, but obviously they're facing the Lakers, which is understandable. I don't know, I guess that's cool for the fans. And then the last one being the Bucks and Knicks. Again, another one that I don't quite understand why. Now, this is, if I saw a stat somewhere saying that, I don't know the other teams. Obviously, I know my team the most. And the Knicks, it said this is the 3rd season, I think, in a row. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. In a row that the Knicks are having a Christmas game. So, yeah, the Knicks are definitely, making attention with people in the organization of the NBA, the higher-ups. And they're seeing that we're just a lot of fun. So, they've been putting us in more games. And I don't know why it's against the Bucks, because we didn't do good against the Bucks in the regular season. I don't think we ever do that great against them in the regular season. Maybe there's a difference this time around since we're starting to become more and more of a contending team. Not championship yet, but we're at least a conference contender, I would say, like conference finals contender. So, that's cool to see. I'm just excited again. Like, seeing leaks like this makes me more and more eager just to see the season start. And I know a lot of teams have already been posting like, hey, we're going to announce our games this day. We're going to announce our games, so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. All the teams are getting ready to show the schedule, and that's going to be a lot of fun. I'll definitely... I don't know if I'll go through all the games, but I'll definitely let you guys know when each team announces it. Like, I'll probably post it on Instagram being like, hey guys, look, they just posted the schedule for the Lakers, and they just posted one for the Celtics. Go check them out. So I'll definitely let you guys know on there. And yeah, there's that. Next, we have Josh Hart. He got an extension with the New York Knicks. It was, let me check here. It was 4 years, $81 million. Yeah, he got an extension from the Knicks. I knew that when they didn't give him one right off the bat, I was like, okay, maybe they'll give him during the next off season or something. But no, they were like, all right, here you go. Now, some people have been like, oh, that's way too much for Josh Hart. He has $81 million. But with the NBA recently and their salaries and everything going up, this seems like it's going to be the new norm for a lot of players. And not only that, I think he deserves it. He was playing really, really well this past season for the Knicks. So I don't know what to tell you. We also have Anthony Davis. He also got an extension for $186 million. Again, good for him. It's just I don't really know if that's a good idea. If he can stay healthy, then this is a great deal for them. That's all I'm going to say for that. Because he is a good player. When he's on the floor, he is great. It's just that he gets injured all the time. So it's how long are you going to be okay with having a player that gets injured all the time, but being like, oh, but if he's on the court, he'll do good. That's the same thing that we say with Zion. People are like, oh, when he's on the court, he's really good. Yeah, of course he's good, but no one cares because he doesn't play. I just feel like it's kind of silly how we're saying one guy this and then the other guy that. I don't know, it's whatever. Now, next is Anthony Edwards. This was just about how he apparently got a fine for what happened in the series against the Nuggets that previously happened in the playoffs. He apparently got really upset and threw some chairs and it hit some fans, so he got fined. I think it was $50K. Could be wrong on that. I don't know. I don't remember the exact price. I just know he got fined for that. I don't think it was anything more than that. Like, he didn't get a suspension or anything. It was just he had to pay a fine. So, Anthony Edwards, definitely try to check your anger. I think you're a really, really talented player, so please don't mess that up. Don't be trying to do some crazy things and hurting the fans. Like, why are you trying to hurt your fans? I don't know if it was Timberwolves fans, but just fans in general, man. Don't be doing that. I know you're upset. I'm sure he didn't do it on purpose, but still, you gotta keep your anger in check, man. Can't be doing stuff like that. Now, finally, the last thing I want to talk about, like I told you guys, this was going to be a pretty short episode, not as long as the others, just because, again, it has been really, really dead when it comes to the NBA. So, the last thing I want to talk about is the James Harden situation. Now, a lot of things have been going on, so we'll start with the first thing. I want to say a couple weeks back, I think this was during the free agency, James Harden said he wanted to get traded. Well, he went to free agency thinking that there was going to be a bunch of teams that were going to sign him. And he ended up finding out that absolutely nobody wanted him. I kid you not. I believe from reports here, let me look again. Yeah, from reports, it says he didn't get a single contract from anybody. And if he did, maybe in case, like, maybe the article I'm reading got it wrong, in case he did, I guess it was, if someone did offer him money, it wasn't anything of his interest. So he went back to the Sixers and then decided to request a trade, being like, hey, I want to go to the Clippers. So the Clippers they tried to do that, but the 76ers ended up not getting anything in return that they wanted, or was just even worth it, I guess. So they officially were like, you know what, we're not going to trade you anywhere. And they said the trade talks had ended. And, James Harden was going to stay with the team and blah, blah, blah. So, Sixers fans were like, oh, this is awesome. This is great. Now we're going to have Harden back. We can have Harden and Joel try to run it back, which, again, I talked about it before, but I don't see why people want to do that. They're not good in the playoffs. They're not. I know, like, people will be like, oh, but why, like, that's just your bias. It's like, no, that's not bias. Like, this isn't me even looking at stats. This is just the eye test. They're not good when it comes to winning games in the playoffs. We know this. I don't know why they want these guys so much and think that they can win a chip, especially with Joel Embiid not showing that he's a leader. I'm not going to go into it all again, but you guys know how I feel about it. It's just really silly. And, everyone was like, okay, yeah, I guess we're doing good. And then now I'm hearing news that Harden apparently is not going to go into training camp. And if you guys saw from the NBA, they did make a report being like, hey, if you get traded to a team, or if you're with a team and you deny to go here, here, and here, you're going to get in serious trouble. So I'm assuming that means Harden's going to get in trouble if he doesn't go to training camp. Now, again, I don't know how true that is. I've been seeing some reports saying that he is going, and some other reports saying, oh, actually, he is going. Like, it's just been back and forth. So I don't know who to believe at this point. But I at least want to let you guys be aware that there's a chance that Harden might not be going to training camp. And if that is the case, I think that is very silly. And I would be very frustrated. No, maybe not even as a Sixers fan. I am frustrated as an NBA fan because these players get paid so much money and they think, oh, well, if I'm not going here, then I'm not going to do anything. It's like, bro, you get paid so much money and you're just having a whole fit because you didn't go to the team you wanted. Like, I'm sorry that nobody wanted you, Harden, but what did you expect? He wanted these teams to give him like a max, and no team was offering him that, because why would you offer James Harden a max, especially in today's day and age? Because Harden's just, we can see it in his game. He's just getting older now, and he's just starting to slump. When he still averages like, I think 21 points, at least 20 something points. So he's still good, but compared to him in his prime, he's just not there anymore. And, it's frustrating, I'm sure, for Harden, but you gotta face reality, man. You were not at, you're just not that guy. I don't know why it's hard for him to understand this. And, I really hope they can come with a solution. It's just gonna suck, man, for the Sixers fans. I'm sorry for you guys. It's gonna be a rough season, but hey, maybe it'll be good for me as a Knicks fan, because obviously me being a Knicks fan and my friends also being fans of other teams, we would like to go to Philadelphia and watch some games. So if that means the ticket prices are gonna go down, hey, I mean, I wouldn't mind going, I'm just saying. And, also as a Knicks fan, there's been the rumors about Joel Embiid possibly going to the Knicks, all that stuff. We're always in talks with that stuff. But again, it's just another player that might go to the Knicks, so we got to keep our eye on that. And I think that's all I have to say for the James Harden situation. I just think it's silly. Again, it's the same situation like the Damian Lillard. I think it's silly. I think these guys... If you guys remember that lady that told LeBron years ago to just shut up and dribble, that's kind of how I feel about Dame and Harden. It's like, guys, just get over it, all right? You can tell them that you want to trade, but don't make this whole fit about it. You guys are not in good situations to even be asking for a trade, so you're lucky you're even playing basketball. Just, to quote that one lady, just shut up and dribble. Just please, just play the game, man. Go have fun. For Dame, you're not going to do good anyway this season. Just go have fun. They're not going to give you a trade. If they do, it's not going to be till the beginning or near the trade deadline. Just go have fun with the young guys. You got Scoot Henderson on your team. Go try to help him improve and show him, show him how to do things around here in the NBA. You can be a good mentor for him. Harden, just play good. You play good during the regular season. All you gotta do is play good during the playoffs, and you guys should be chilling. You guys are still a team that I believe could potentially have a chance at winning the chip, but you guys just are messing it up and fumbling the bag. So just figure it out with the Sixers, man. And that's all I gotta say for the situation. Now, I ended off by saying this because I did mention it before about how I do have some more ideas that are coming in the future. I have my first video for the YouTube channel going to be posted. And when I mean first video, I mean a video that's actually dedicated to the YouTube channel. It's not going to be posted on Spotify. It will only be on YouTube like any other regular YouTube video. That one it's going to be fun. It's going to be really interesting. I think you guys are going to like it. I took a lot of hard work into it. It took days to even make. And obviously, I'll try to upload episode 9, hopefully, by the time you guys are listening to this podcast. And the last two things I'll say... Excuse me, I got the hiccups. The last two things I'll say is... I'm not going to say what the names are for them, like the exact names for them, but I will say this. I have 2 other projects that are going to be documentaries. Obviously, it's for basketball, in case you were like, oh, what is it for? It's for basketball, obviously. But it's 2 documentaries. And yeah, documentaries have always been something that I've honestly enjoyed as a person. As you can see here, I talk for an hour and a half in some of these episodes. So obviously I like talking and I just like listening to people talk about the most random things in the world. So that's where I got really passionate about. One of them is I think it'll be a lot of fun just because it's going to look into the history of a certain organization that I just don't know much about, which I guess maybe you guys can put some hints trying to think of which organization I'm talking about. And then the other one is about a certain player. I'll say that. I'll go that far into it, saying it's about a certain player that I really, really like. Obviously, it's someone I like. I'm not just going to do like some player I don't like. Be like, oh, this documentary is about Joel Embiid. Like, no, that's not happening. It's, it's fun. It's just know it's gonna take a while. Like, don't expect these documentaries to be out in the next like 2 weeks. Like, it takes a lot of time. The videos themselves that I made took a lot of time, and they're probably gonna be around the same time because these videos were like an hour and a half, my podcast, and these documentaries will probably be around that same range. I don't know if they'll be like an hour, but they're definitely gonna be at least half an hour. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. Again, not that much to talk about. I just wanted to post something on here because I know it's been a minute since I've last talked on here, and I'm sure you guys missed me very, very much. And to the people that have been listening, thank you for listening. Always just make sure to share the podcast. It helps a lot more than you really think. Definitely go check out the YouTube channel that I've been talking about. Again, it's just the same name as the podcast. It's What's Next on Basketball. It has the same picture. It's all my videos are on there except for episode 9, but the other 8 videos are on there. If you know somebody that might be interested, please share it. It helps a lot. And yeah, also go check out my Instagram if you haven't already. Like, I know I'm doing these little self promos, but I gotta do it, man, so people know where to go. And yeah, this has been another episode of the What's Next on Basketball podcast, episode 10. We're finally in the double digits for the episodes. As for when I'll make another episode, I have no idea. So until then, stay tuned.